Good evening. Welcome to Blockchain Consensus Meetup with IBM, Paxful, and DECENT. Tonight, we will have 3 keynote speakers from them, followed by a panel discussion. Before we start the event tonight, let's give a big hand to the sponsors, IBM, Paxful, and DECENT, and to the supporting organizations. Block Talk, Crypto IC, Hashmark, Testpark, Coin Otaku, 9up.io, FinTech Association of Hong Kong, Hong Kong Startup Support Group, MATRIX, Source Capital, and Token News. Without their support, this event won't be possible. Now let's invite LimeHK co-founder Patrick to say a few words. Patrick,
Thank you all for coming. I saw so many friends from all over the world to come here to this event and also to embrace the week for Token 2049. So thank you so much. Friendly face, blockchain expert here. So once again, thank you IBM, thank you Paxful, thank you DECENT, and our 11th quality and also our supporting partners to come here, and also our hardworking line team to make this successful. So tonight, I'm sure we will have great quality and also great content tonight. So please enjoy it and also make good friends, make good connection. And also to exchange your thoughts. So I think tonight will be amazing. So about LimeHK, so what we are is Hong Kong accelerator. We are laser focusing on helping blockchain projects to build business traction and also to build a business traction and also to serve enterprise for their innovation needs. So that's who we are, and we also maintain a large community group of blockchain experts and also startup entrepreneurs. So we also provide events, we create content to maintain this good community of people with you together. So example event like this. So to give it a little bit thesis, next activity for our community will be one-of-a-kind hackathon. So please pay special attention for that and do contact us if you want to engage with this amazing hackathon coming up. So I think today is amazing. So to celebrate that, we actually reserve a bar, called Fritz, downstairs nearby. So we will have voucher for that for free drinks. So everyone, please do get a voucher before you leave. And also in LimeHK, we have an innovative blockchain consensus called POA, so proof of alcohol. So everyone, all right? So everyone, later on, let's do the trust from there, okay? Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Patrick, for bringing such great news. The first keynote will be brought to you by Angie Krackeler from IBM. Angie is the IBM Developer Advocate. Angie.
Thank you, LimeHK for co-hosting this. I want to introduce some of my colleagues in the room. Frankie, Eric, did Eric leave? Eric's right there. Okay, so so I'm from the little company called IBM here. So how many of you know how old is the company itself? Yes, come on. So about 108 years. So we've been reinventing ourselves, as you can see, probably. So I'm going to first admit that I'm not an expert, because I think there's probably a lot of experts here. I started getting into this a little, like about a couple years ago. And so today I'm just going to give you a little bit of perspective of what we're doing in IBM. Okay, so I'm going to start first with a little video. We're going to try.
Blockchain set out to revolutionize financial transactions, and now it's solving problems for every business. For example, how are banks using the IBM blockchain platform? The most complete and secure set of production-ready business tools available is the catalyst to disrupt the financial world by giving small businesses faster access to the credit they need and the opportunities they dream about. Alice's company company needs to purchase a large number of computers from an overseas supplier. They don't have enough capital on hand, so she needs a letter of credit. Alice easily submits her request, and the letter of credit asset is created on the blockchain. Alice's banker receives the request. Like everyone involved in the transaction, he can see the information Alice entered, as well as the transaction history. He approves the letter of credit, so the supplier's banker can readily review the information and the updated transaction list, and approve the application. On his home screen, the supplier sees the letter of credit asset and clicks to review it. After confirming the information and the up-to-date transaction list, he accepts the application and ships the computers. When the computers arrive, Alice marks the order as received. Her banker, seeing that the transaction is complete, instantly approves payment. The supplier's bank marks the letter of credit transaction closed, and the supplier's account is credited. The letter of credit history remains on the blockchain, leaving a simple, step-by-step permanent record of the transaction that is never removed. IBM Blockchain helps the financial industry, gives small businesses credit where credit is due. Sign up for the starter plan today. The IBM Blockchain platform. What will we solve together? Let's find out.
So that's just one of the use cases. So as we know, I know a lot of people are talking about crypto, but for us, we really focus on the business side, okay? So we're looking at how do you leverage blockchain to help solve some of your business problems. And again, we don't believe blockchains solves everything. So you really need to take a look at what exactly is the problem, and is it really something that blockchain can actually help you solve. So I'm just going to go through a little bit about, as you can see here, we're talking about, 10% of GDP will be stored on blockchain. This is some of the stats that we've seen, okay? 176 billion of business value will be on there, okay? So this is really, blockchain to us is really trying to fill a gap. And the gap that we feel is like the trusted gap, okay? If you think about internet back in 1900, that was really solving the gap of distance, right? People have access to different technology, different knowledge all over the place. So this is really filling the trusted gap by providing the blockchain network for everyone to be able to use. So here are just some of the terminology. People's gonna hear a lot of these, okay? We talked about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been around forever. Ethereum, Hyperledger. You're gonna see a lot more technology, a lot of different blockchains out there. And then the different type of topics we talk about, okay? Trusted, connection, permissionless, right? Also like identity. We're gonna show you some of the things where, how can we use blockchain in different type of industries. And then the different communities. So we're part of the Hyperledger, the Linux foundations, but there's also a lot of people that are out there, like Ethereum has been around for a long time. Okay, so you're gonna see more and more of these kind of consortium available these days. Okay, I think we lost a few charts here. Trying to think what was the next chart. Okay, let's see. Trying to think. What was want to try? Do you have the PDF file? Okay. All right. So let's talk about a few areas. So we saw the financial, right? This is where the seller and buyer, how can you use blockchain? The other area you guys probably heard a lot about from IBM is food, right? Food safety. That's actually a problem that's all over the world. I was actually at an event in San Francisco and Oakland area where we have different ASEAN countries come, the representative, and talking about the challenges in each of the country. And food trust has been one of the key things that people feel is really important. So we've been working with Walmart to look at how do we be able to guarantee, right? It's all traceability all the way through from the beginning, from where the farm comes through all the way to the user. The other thing we talked about was also wire transfer, right? So world wire, where you can make payments across border to make that seamless and make it almost real time, right? Because we all know that's not 100% there yet. What else have we done? So actually, where I've been in Bay Area, I live in San Francisco and Silicon Valley. So I'm just visiting today, this week here. So there's a lot of discussion about different area where we see the blockchain. So supply chain is definitely another one where we've been partnering with Maersk in that space to look at supply chain. And then the other thing we talked about is, well, it's interesting because I'm starting to see a lot of energy companies are start talking about blockchain as well, okay? So they've been having weekly sessions and webinars that you guys can participate and see. And those are the ones that actually are also talking about token space a little bit. And then what else do we have? We have, did it go? Here we go. All right, okay, thanks. So here is just trying to show you. So on any given time, we actually are managing over 1,200 networks out there at any given time. And about 100 of them are actually a consortium, okay? So it's multiple partners that are on there, so there's, what that means. What is a consortium kind of network, the 100 of them? Is that there is someone, a participant, there's someone that can actually issue a transaction, there's someone that actually creating blocks. So that's kind of what we've been doing. And so these are all the different areas. Insurance definitely is another area. Healthcare, people are starting to talk about, who can have access to the record, right? If you think about, I've seen, because in the Bay Area, I speak to a lot of the startups on a regular basis and coming up with different ideas. And one of the challenges in healthcare is that if someone's elderly that's getting sick, who in that family should have access to the record to be able to communicate with the doctors and things like that. Legal space, right? Legal space is another one. Your will, who has access, who can authenticate the will is actually what it's supposed to be. It hasn't been altered. So identity, there's a country that's already using blockchain to look at identity space. So this is just kind of give you an idea of all the different area industry that we see blockchain and actual business use case. Okay. So I already talked about this before. So these are just some of the different area that you guys can take a look at, some of the use cases out there. We actually do get involved in some of the payment side. We have a partner called Stella that we've been working with, and that's on the payment side. Oh, okay, and you can definitely go take a look at that search on website. And in that space, we actually recently just talked about last year sometime about a stablecoin kind of project that's going on. Okay, so blockchain. In order to scale, so what we've been told is that most company has more than one cloud. Okay, they have multi-cloud. I think there's 71% of the company out there says they have more than 3 different kind of cloud environment. Okay, so what you want is be able to have a solution that can work in different environments and be able to scale. And so we are able to actually provide you the different scenarios. So we've been talking, hybrid cloud has been key because a lot of company has their private, but then they also want to be able to connect with the public. So the hybrid cloud has been that. But at the same time, we wanted to be able to work with other clouds. So just 3 weeks ago, IBM actually has been talking about this whole multi-cloud support. So you can run a lot of different services today that's on our own cloud to be able to interoperable with some of the other cloud providers. So we believe that people want to be able to have that option, that choice, to decide how they want to run their environment, and they want to be able to choose. Okay. And so that's one of the things. And also, right here, there's a QR code. So same thing, about 2-3 weeks ago, we announced Blockchain 2.0. You can actually create environment using Kubernetes. And it's actually available now on our cloud. And it's in beta, so it's free for anybody who wants to go out there and try it and use it. So feel free to use that QR code if you're interested and finding out some more about it and go out and try it. Okay? All right, I think that's all I have. Any questions? No? Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, Angie, for your presentation. So the second keynote that we will have Ray Youssefs, the CEO and the co-founder of Paxful, to give us a keynote.
Hey everybody, how are you? This is powerful, great. So, first a little bit about us at Paxful and what we do. We are a peer-to-peer finance, right? Paxful's mission is to create an open and safe financial network for the entire world.
Sorry, it's a bit too powerful. It really is. Maybe, yeah, without it might be better.
Actually, I don't think I even need a mic.
Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, we'll go back. All right, fine. It's fine.
Great, so let's figure out how we got here, right? What are the true use cases of Bitcoin?
All right, so it's about the true use cases of Bitcoin. That's what this presentation is about. And this is something that we have learned over the past 4 years, not because we're the smartest guys in the room, nowhere near, but because we listen to our users. And our users are the unbanked in emerging markets. People that they have quite a bit of money, but it's just in places where they can't use it, right? And some of them, most of them do actually have bank accounts, but their bank accounts can't access outside markets or international markets in the way that we can, right? So we'll talk about all that. But really this is about the journey of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, how we got to this point. It's very important for us to understand that. So the first use case in almost any technology is gray markets, right? It's always like that. I think the first transaction happened on the internet was it $25 of marijuana, right, on the corner of the street. Not surprising. This thing is it's like a hair trigger over here. Anyway, so gray markets, right? Like that's the other way. That doesn't work either. All right, cool. Okay, so speculation is the second big use case. But first, let's talk about gray markets. So let's finish talking about that. So this is, Silk Road is super black, right? That's how everything started off, right? And it gets grayer and grayer, right? So, gaming, sports betting, online casinos, and then it gets even like lighter and lighter, right? For example, in America, you can't buy a vaporizer online with a Visa or MasterCard debit card, right? Because it's not federally legal in every state. Visa and MasterCard will not bank them. What do? They have to turn to Bitcoin, right? Is Bitcoin easy to use? Not at all. We'll get to that later. So gray markets are huge, and it's still the biggest use of cryptocurrency right now. You think about Ethereum, right? Now let's think about what brought us, what the 2017 bull run, right? It was because of the ICO. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was the guys. I'll be nice, all right? So basically, what was that? It was basically a series of ploys to get money away from the early adopters. So all these, most of them were charlatans and completely useless projects, right? So that is, in a way, gray area, right? It really is. And Ethereum really hasn't gotten around that yet, but it will eventually, right? So gray areas are how everything starts. So what's next, right? Speculation, right? This is the phase that we're in right now. The shitcoin casinos, right? Everyone why are people in crypto now, right? When I talk to them, is it really about the technology, or Whereas they're hoping they can make 7x on the next altcoin pump, right? This is really what we're in right now. We're in this phase. I'd say about 70 to 90% of the volume of cryptocurrency happens because of speculation. So you can't really argue for speculation because it's destroyed pretty much every civilization that it saturates, right? And we're in a highly toxic phase. Anyone here on crypto Twitter? Right? Anyone? It's just me? Oh, it's you. Yeah, so if you're on crypto Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about, you know? So there's a lot that's happening here. All of it is bad. I won't get into the manipulation vectors for speculation, but it's a toxic entity. But this is where most of our actual volume is, and this is where most of our attention is, and that's the truth, right? So we have to accept that. So what's next? Well, 2018 happened, right? Everything just collapsed, right? And for good reason, right? People got tired of it, right? People figured it out. And it all went down. It had to. But it should have been a lot worse. That's the thing. Considering how bad it was, considering the level of greed that we saw, and just pandemonium. You know, I was getting at one point over 1,000 friend requests on LinkedIn a day from blockchain experts and ICO advisors. It was just too much, right? But it actually showcased the power of cryptocurrency to be able to mobilize a community fast, right? In this case, around ICO scams, but it doesn't matter, right? It's all about how fast we mobilize a community. So it should have been worse, guys. That's all I gotta say. I think I'm very bullish on the future, considering that we're all still here, we're all still in the space. It's pretty amazing, right? So for us to understand, you know, why we're here, what's brought us all together, we really have to go back to the very beginning, right? Understand that everything that we have here, what's brought us together, Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, is really built on 3 miracles, right? So we're super lucky. 3 miracles. First miracle is peer-to-peer electronic cash. Over 10 years ago, Bitcoin was born, right? And it's amazing. It works. The world's top 500 supercomputers combined can't match the power of the Bitcoin network, right? Sorry, Big Blue. Right? Big Blue, even 500 Big Blues couldn't match the Bitcoin network right now, where it's at, despite all the miners getting out. So it's an amazing contraption that works, and it is in itself a miracle. And the next miracle is this human layer. Blockchain, Bitcoin on top of it, and all of us in this room, we're all part of this human layer. I met my co-founder at the Bitcoin Center in New York City, right? And we just did a Bitcoin trade, right? I just needed some cash. He had some Bitcoin. I had some Bitcoin. He had some cash. We did a trade. Boom. This is how it works, right? It's not just about hodling. It's about people that are using Bitcoin, evangelizing, educating. This, in and of itself, is a miracle. Has there ever been a social experiment that's powerful, covers every possible country, social sector, religion in the world as Bitcoin? It's absolutely amazing. I can't think of any social experiment in the past 100 years that is this powerful. And considering it's about money too, there's some very wealthy people rising up in the Bitcoin space. So this is a miracle. I really see this as a miracle. We have that, and we're all part of this miracle right here. And we're gonna understand how important this is as we go on. And the third miracle is the sharing economy, right? It's kind of a buzzword that's lost a little meaning right now, because people are trying to get into the sharing economy for, you know, CDs and stuff that could be streamed online. But if you look at what the sharing economy really is, it's Uber, it's Airbnb, right? It's getting more value out of what you have available, right? It's maximizing the usefulness of resources, and it works. 10 years ago, if I told you, hey, rent your bedroom out to a stranger, or get into this strange guy's car who's gonna take me to your mother's house, you think I was crazy, right? But now it's just par for the course. And if you can share your car and your time to drive somewhere, if you can share your bedroom, your kitchen, with someone visiting out of town, why can't you use your bank account to pay a bill for someone who doesn't have access to the networks that you have? Why can't you use your Alipay account to get a payment for someone instead of offer them somewhere else? Why can't we, as peers, do peer-to-peer finance? Why can't we use our own financial instruments that are much more valuable in cars or CDs or even real estate, really, if you think about it and what they're capable of, right? And people have great need for these things. Everyone has a home, almost. Everyone has like a way to get transportation, but very few people have the access to get to financial networks that we do here in the West. We take that for granted. So we're here at the realm of peer-to-peer finance, right? And it really is a kind of realm. Peer-to-peer finance, what does that mean, right? So it's this movement that's built on top of open source finance, right? What's going on here? Peer-to-peer finance, a global financial passport. That's how I like to think of it as, right? If you talk to someone in Africa, right, and you talk to them and you ask them what are their issues, right, with money, they're going to tell you, well, you know, I like to buy things online, but I can't even order from eBay because they won't take my Visa or debit card because they're too afraid of fraud and shipping to my country, right? They won't do it. So how does he buy stuff online, right? If someone's running a, well, we'll get into these examples later as I go along. I really want to wow you guys, right? But so Uber for money. That's how that's how I like to look at it because it really is. We're helping people transport their money around the world, and it's not just transport, but it's also conversion of money, right? It's a Wall Street for the people, powered by the people. If you need help making a payment somewhere in the world, right? We can find that friend for you. Out of somewhere in this room, we can find that guy. We can say, hey, he can pay the bill for you. We can pay you, like, for example, I've been living in Europe for the past 4 years. I don't have a European bank account. And I have a Bank of America account in New York City, but it's so ghetto that I can't even send a wire from there to Europe unless I'm physically in my branch in New York City, right? This is true. This is right now, right? I can't actually do that. So what do? I use peer-to-peer finance, right? I just basically ask someone in Germany, hey, pay my legal bill in Hamburg for me. He does it. How do I pay him back? Here's Bitcoin. And that's it. It's just that simple, right? It's not about being your own bank. It's about borrowing a bank account. It's about getting these magical friends that have access to every single financial network in the world. And when you really look at it, it's like an OTC marketplace for currency exchangers. Every exchange, whether it's one person or a conglomerate, can actually get on Paxful and just start putting up their offers. Hey, I'll do this for you, right? And what you really have at the end of the day is a universal translator for money. If you think about it, someone in America can take some cash, go to a drugstore, buy a Walmart gift card, take that code, put it into Paxful. We'll turn it into Bitcoin through a peer who will buy his gift card code and give him Bitcoin exchange at a discount, of course. By the way, I was at one point getting 70% off Whole Foods gift cards on Paxful. It was life-changing. So you will put that in, that gift card code in, get Bitcoin, and then from there, you can actually take that Bitcoin and sell it and turn it into anything else. You can turn that Walmart gift card essentially into an Amazon gift card, or a PayPal deposit in the UK, or cash in Cambodia to his girlfriend who's traveling abroad. Any form of money can become any other form of money anywhere in the world, and that is powerful. There's nothing more powerful than that. If you're looking for a killer app of Bitcoin and blockchain technologies, forget the governance, forget the voting, forget all that bullshit that no one cares about. No one cares about voting on or off the blockchain, let's face it, right? This is what people care about, using their money their way. So many people are trapped. We have no idea how trapped people are outside of the West. We're kind of in the golden circle of finance, right? So we'll get into some of those cases, but so this universal translator of money, all Paxful is a listing service, an escrow service for cryptocurrency, and a cryptocurrency wallet. Those three things combined essentially create a universal translator for money, peer-to-peer marketplace. So here we are. I worked really hard on this. This is like the project of years. So I do some customer support every day. I'm the CEO of the company, and I'm actually there talking to real people. Why? I like people. I want to support the customer, but even more importantly, I want to learn about what's going on. What are their problems with money? Why are they here? Why did they put, what is Bitcoin into Google and type and enter? Like, why? For what purpose? What's bothering them? What motivated them to do that, right? And it's about true use cases. We've gone over number one, gray markets. Number two, let's get into the others. So every single country in the world will score differently on this map, right? Some will be really bright, some will be really dim, right? Now, you can probably get an understanding of that just by looking at this. So this is a powerful, I love this, by the way, because this first symbol, I'm told, is fire, right? And Ta'ao is basically the art of turning a profit, right? You're taking something, you're flipping it in the air, and you're catching it, and you're doing it over and over again, right? And it makes something yummy, right? So Ta'ao is a very powerful concept. In the English-speaking world, we call it arbitrage, right? A very technical term, right? But this is really what it's all about. Because this is the motive. This is the incentivization mechanism. This is what is needed, right? And everyone here understands that, right? Especially folks in Hong Kong. I told you guys love Ta'ao. Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of, for God's sake. So it's beautiful, right? So arbitrage in Hong Kong, right? So truthfully, guys, I would like to know from you guys what the real arbitrage opportunities are. Because I am not really sure. Now, there's so many arbitrage opportunities on Paxful, right? Because we support 300 payment methods and growing, right? So you think about it, you can have 300 payment methods on one side coming in, and 300 payment methods on the other side coming out. 300 times 300. These are the possible combinations, right? Possible trade routes, and you can do multiple hops across what we call these trade routes, right? Focusing on specific corridors, right? And every single hop you can make a profit. Or a loss, but you usually make a profit. Some you can make even bigger profits, right? I'll give you guys some examples of arbitrage. Drop shipping. You guys know what drop shipping is? So what a lot of people do, because you can get gift cards on Paxful for up to 50% off or more, right? What do? Like a lot of people, they will, they'll see something on Amazon, put it on eBay, and raise the price by 5%. And then when someone orders, they have it sent from Amazon over to that guy, and they make their 5%. Super cool little business, right? I didn't think people actually did that. I think people are dumb enough to actually pay a little more, but no one researches, especially us Americans, right? We just like buy, we don't care, right? So what's beautiful about that is that it's a working business, but even better, you can go onto Paxful and that 5% can become 55%. You just got an Amazon gift card at 50% off using Bitcoin. So now your profit margins have increased 10x, right? And you just rinse and repeat, right? That's what a lot of people do. There are risks, however, and we can talk about that, but essentially this is business, right? But there's many more arbitrage opportunities, not just with gift cards. That's where the margins are absolutely massive, right? Because you're tapping into these retail economies. And a lot of people that use like these hooks into these retail economies are the unbanked. So the profit margins are very, very high. Why? Because people who do not have bank accounts, poorer people, quote unquote, they're used to paying more for financial services. That's just the way the world is, right? So that is something that is an incentive for both parties, right? So there's many other arbitrage opportunities. We're trying to figure them out right now. It can be everything from LimeHK to PayMe to all the other payment methods that we have here. But as we talk, and I would love to talk to all of you, I'm sure if you get on Paxful, you browse around, you're just going to start figuring things out once you see those differences, right? Once you see those rates. So magical things can happen when that starts to happen. Anyways, so this use case, payments. This is a really huge use case, right? And I first became aware of this in Africa, right? So I was in Nigeria, which is our biggest market in Africa, and it's the second biggest market overall. 220 million people in Nigeria. It's actually the biggest economy in Africa, right? So it turns out they don't actually produce much, like manufacture much in Nigeria. They import it all from China, right? So how do they pay the Chinese? All these merchants, big, small, medium, they're all getting stuff from China. How are they paying the Chinese? They don't use CNY in Nigeria, right? They use Nigerian Naira, right? So it's extremely difficult. When you talk to one of these merchants over there and ask them, how do you make the payments to China? Like set aside 2 hours, because they're going to tell you a story, right? There's like 5 different relatives involved, friends of friends across 3. I'm serious, across 3 different countries, right? They cannot turn Naira into CNY. First, they have to get USD. And to do that, they have to go through the black market, right? And if they don't have access to that, or even if they do, they might also need help from a friend. So a lot of the times they'll have a friend living in New York who has an American bank account. They'll ask for his help getting the USD and maybe at that point he can send it over to China. It takes about 2 weeks or something like that, but he can still do it for them. And then they'll settle up between each other. What do you call that? That is peer-to-peer finance, right? They're using their family, their network, their families and their friends to help them pay a bill somewhere else, right? So what are we doing with Bitcoin, with peer-to-peer finance, using cryptocurrency? We're giving them that magical friend everywhere in the world, right? We're saying, hey guys, you want to make that payment in China? Well, it's easy, right? You can just get some Bitcoin. You can give it to this guy in China, and then he can just easily sell that Bitcoin in China and turn it to money in his bank account, right? We can make it even easier for them. We can say, hey, you have Naria? Okay, fine. I will sell you Bitcoin for Naria, or I will find someone in Nigeria, right, that has Bitcoin. You send Naria from your Nigerian bank account to his. He gives you Bitcoin. Okay, now you have Bitcoin, right? You just get a bank transfer in Nigeria. Now you have Bitcoin, and then from there you sell that Bitcoin to a guy in China, and he asks you, okay, how do I pay you? Where do I send my CNY? And he's like, well, I don't have a Chinese bank account. Here's the invoice, right, for this factory that makes iPhones or whatever. Please pay it. He doesn't care where you're sending the money. He'll gladly pay your invoice for you. It's not illegal, right? You're just paying a bill for you. Done. So with two peer-to-peer transactions, you've taken someone with cash in an economy that is enclosed and turned it into cash into another economy. That was also kind of enclosed in its own way, right? You've restored the flow between those two walled gardens, right? And the all walled gardens, right, was in China. It's very hard to get money out of the country, right? You're limited to $50,000 a year that you can move out of the country. In Nigeria, the central bank actually shut down. They stopped converting Nigeria to USD and euros because they were under heavy currency wars attack and their inflation rate was soaring. So the government wanted to hold on to their own currency, right? So the entrepreneurs there were screwed. They couldn't do anything. Another example of this is also Nigeria. You can buy a used car anywhere in America and Europe, ship it over there, and sell it for 500% profit, right? 5x. It's not too bad. That's real arbitrage, right? That's real talent. They couldn't do that anymore because they couldn't make the payments. So again, they would go on to Paxful, they would load up, they had to buy a 90, I think, I saw one guy on Paxful, he was buying a 92 Land Rover from the Manheim auction house in Detroit. It was like $6,700 or something like that. He didn't know what to do, so I said, okay, get this much worth of Bitcoin, $6,700. Got it. And basically, I found him a trade. There's an American guy who will buy your Bitcoin for bank transfer. He's like, I don't have an American bank account. No problem. Just give him the invoice from the auction. They'll pay your car bill for you. You can pay the guy's shipping bill for him too. Again, the flow was restored. Once this actually started happening, the Nigerian government restored the flow. They began doing the convergence again, but it was too late. The genie was out of the bottle. People figured it out. They can do this, and it's not just with a bank transfer. You can do this with any payment method, with Alipay, with PayPal. Anyone can make a payment for you anywhere with access to this financial network, any financial network. E-commerce is a big thing as well, right? So if you don't have an American or European bank account, you can't get a Visa or MasterCard merchant account. You cannot get debit cards online. How do you run an e-commerce shop? How do you do it, right? If you can't take Visa or MasterCard. That's the story for so many merchants around the world, right? If you don't have an American or European bank account, you will actually have to fly to New York. It doesn't matter if you have a rug store in Turkey or a clothing store in Africa or whatever. You're going to have to fly to New York, open up a corporation, open up a bank account, apply for a Visa, MasterCard merchant account. Or you can just use peer-to-peer finance, accept Bitcoin, or use a product like Paxful's coming out with. We have a little checkout, kind of like PayPal checkout. It'll allow people to accept any form of payment, actually. And again, it's just two peer-to-peer transactions, right? Someone can basically buy your vacuum cleaner with an Amazon gift card, right? You can turn that into Bitcoin, give it to the merchant, and the merchant automatically sells it at any point for local cash, right? So again, all this is, it's not an investment, right? But this is something I want to give you guys some insight into Africa. When we talk to people in Africa about Bitcoin, we think two things. Either it's a scam, it usually is. South Africans get preyed upon by scammers, or it's an investment, right? But they don't understand that it doesn't have to be an investment. You don't have to buy it, take it, and use it immediately. You can flip it, either to make a profit for yourself or to help someone else do something, or to pay a bill yourself, or do whatever you need to do. It literally is a tool. It's technology. It's a mechanism. So I met a girl in Africa, and she had an e-commerce shop on Instagram, and I asked her, like, how do you get paid? She said she doesn't. She had, again, a friend living in New York, and she gave people his bank account. They would send money to his bank account. She would send them the clothes, and later on, he would settle up from his African bank account to her African bank account that he still had. So she had this magical friend, but what about everyone else? Here we are. We give them a magical friend in every country in the world with access to every financial network in the world. It's pretty cool. So remittance, this is actually a humongous use case. Even a little country like Ghana in Africa gets $3 billion in remittance a year, right? It's absolutely massive. Mexico gets $30 billion in remittance a year from the United States alone, right? It's a pretty massive market. And the beautiful thing about this market is So, okay, so in the beginning, when I got into Bitcoin, everyone was talking about remittance, right? Like Bitcoin is going to take down Western Union, they're going to, it's going to save people on fees, this, that, and the other thing, and then what happened? Like, almost nothing. Like, it didn't happen. Not the way people said, because okay, here's what we've learned, is that remittance, when it comes to peer-to-peer finance, is not about saving money. Those people that are sending $100 and paying $10 or $20, they really don't mind paying you $20. Why? Because there's no other way to do it. Because no one else has those off-ramps in Malawi or Gibbon or Ivory Coast, right, that Western Union has, right? But we do. Why does Paxful have these people, right? Because those guys want Bitcoin. Because they found out about this TAO, about this arbitrage in their countries. And they know once they have Bitcoin, they can use it to do amazing things, like buy stuff from out of the country, start an import-export business, sell it to people in the country for a profit, right? So they want the Bitcoin. There's a problem. There's a huge shortage of Bitcoin in these emerging markets, right? Because it's their currency, how do they get it out of the country to buy this Bitcoin, right? It's not poor people that have Bitcoin usually, it's people like people in this room, right? We're not starving here, we're doing all right. So they have to get money from us, how do they can turn their local money into it? So there's a huge shortage of Bitcoin, especially in Africa. So one of the ways we can fix this problem, and we need to fix this problem to actually make this loop go, right, is by mobilizing the diasporas in each of these countries, right? We tell them, hey, and I did this in Berlin with my friend Vicky, she's from Kenya. She's a sister in Kenya, she sends her money, and I asked her, okay. She says, yeah, she sends $1,000 to her sister every other week, right? And it costs her about 200 euros to send them 1,000 euros, right? She uses Western Union, it's a 2-day wait, there's huge queues, right? So I told her, okay, cool, no problem. So I asked her, okay, your sister has a bank account over there? She's like, yeah, but she just picks up the cash from Western Union. I'm like, okay, does she have an M-Pesa account? That's a big payment method. She's like, yeah, of course she has an M-Pesa account. Okay, give me her M-Pesa number, right? All you need to send money to someone in Kenya on M-Pesa is her number. So I got her number, went on Paxful, I did a search for Kenyan shillings, right? And out came this M-Pesa offer. A guy was willing to buy Bitcoin and give M-Pesa money at a 1% bonus, right? And that's what I did. 15 seconds later, her sister had 1,000, actually no, I just did $100 in tax. I did 100 euros worth of Kenyan shillings. No, 101 euros worth of Kenyan shillings. And I only paid $100 in Bitcoin. So she didn't save any money on that. She actually made some money. She got more for a dollar. How about that? And how it took 15 seconds and it came straight to her phone. That's the power of peer-to-peer finance. This is what can actually happen. But the thinking that we need to have is completely different. In this way, like when you show people this, and the margins are even higher in some African countries. In some African countries, they'll pay up to 20% if you're a Bitcoin. So at that point, people aren't even thinking about remittance. They're thinking, hey man, let me flip this. Let me start an import-export business out of this if I can get margins like that. It gets people thinking. So remittance in Hong Kong, right? This is a pretty world's most competitive remittance market. I didn't know that. You guys knew that? Wow. Those are pretty impressive numbers, right? So mostly it's Filipinos that are here, right? So it's a pretty huge market. So how can we help those folks over there, right? There's huge opportunities over there. And I've learned a few things about the off-ramps over there. You guys heard of it. We'll get to the next. So foreign domestic workers in Hong Kong, employed by local HK families, 5% of the population. Wow. So this is actually a massive use case here in Hong Kong, right? So this is a very fertile playground. We can look at this, we can see how they're sending money back home, right? So when they're sending money back home, what do they use? Western Unions, right? Pawn shops are huge cash off-ramps in the Philippines, right? Every local market has different payment methods, right? There's different off-ramps. So we have to go through these markets and start analyzing and understanding how people get paid. What are the dominant payment methods? Once we do that, we can figure out how to move the money around. And then we can start seeing the trade routes, magic. Wealth preservation is another humongous use case, right? As the currency wars continue to grow, and they are growing, more and more countries will suffer from hyperinflation, and they'll need to turn to Bitcoin, right? Like Argentina, this is happening, right? Argentinians don't trust the Argentine peso, right? Because it's collapsed several times before. But it happened in Zimbabwe. Right now in Venezuela, I think the inflation rate is at 1.7 million%. Can you imagine 1.7 So what do people do? They're searching about anything. Bitcoin, okay, it's volatile. Still not as bad as, as the Bolivar, right? So think about it like this. A single mother, she gets paid, right? She has to buy as many eggs, milk, and diapers as she can, right? She needs to use the money there right away. Of course, anything she has left over, the milk and eggs are not going to last for the next 2 weeks, right? So what is she going to do with that leftover money? She wants to turn into something that's going to hold its value. But she's not going to do that unless she knows she can get the value out at any time. And thanks to this amazing, again, this human layer that we built around, there's all these people, her neighbors maybe, that want that Bitcoin that she has, and will give her bolivars in exchange for it, probably at a bonus, right? So this network tends to grow like that. Once they see the off-ramps, they'll very happily get in. Because at that point, she's not hodling the Bitcoin, right? She doesn't, Maria with her 2 children does not give a damn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, or blockchain at all. All she wants to do is just be able to buy enough, like the same amount of eggs, milk, and diapers for her children next week. That's it. That's all they're looking for, right? So if we think like that, we can really help these people. This slide is a little messed up, but it's all right. The built of Bitcoin is right there. So this is the 7th true use case for Bitcoin, and it's social good. I don't call it charity because I don't believe in giving people handouts. I believe in sustainable things that help people actually develop their own environments and grow. So by far the best thing that we can do in this space is to generate wealth, right? To generate wealth. Not by speculation, not by pump and dump schemes, but showing people how they can actually start their own business. Right? That's the best thing. Educating people is a huge part about that, right? I'm educating you guys about this right now. I expect you guys to educate me back about what the true use cases and the true Tao opportunities are here in Hong Kong, right? So the next best thing we can do besides that, in my opinion, is to build schools, and that's what we've done. We've built 2 schools in Africa so far, and we're about to build a 3rd and a 4th. And it's not just a school; it's we also built 5 wells. We built a little garden. We built solar panels. We're opening up a clinic, a sports field. We got the kids a year worth of health insurance, very cute little uniforms, paying the teachers' salaries, everything we can. Eventually, our mission is 100 schools throughout Africa and the emerging world, with many of those schools actually being schools for gifted children, where we'll actually invest into the absolute best, and see if we can actually turn their exponential growth factor into a hockey club, right? So that's what we're going for. Not just giving these people a handout, but giving them a means that they can enrich themselves, right? So Africa's a pretty amazing place. That's one of the reasons we focus on Africa so much, is because it really is the place to be. It'll have the most population growth of any continent in the world. It has one of the most globally saturated populations. It has one of the youngest workforces in the world. So one of the best things about Bitcoin, in fact, the best thing about it is that actually talking about what money actually is, right? If someone asked me 5 years ago, what is money? I just pull the paper out of my pocket and say, is it this, right? That's not money, that's currency. What money actually is money is work, right? If you can do work, that is wealth. The only people that are poor really are those that just can't work at all. Whether they're sick, disabled, elderly, right? So Africa is one of the youngest populations in the world. There's a lot of wealth to be made there, and we are moving forward there very quickly. There'll be a South African office coming very soon. And I think I'm at the end, guys, but we're still in a bear market officially, even though 1 year ago the price was about $1,020. So we're still almost 4x over that. So I don't think we're in a bear market at all. I think we're in a bull market, right? Just kind of gliding gently on, giving the attention. So we're actually super early, guys. So keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Ray, for your keynote. And the 3rd keynote will be given by Dr. Marian Pomeryarsky, the blockchain engineer and advisor of DECENT.
Because I'm a scientist as well, so alcohol intrigues me. So just run through it pretty fast. I will start with a backstory first. My friend is also the founder. So we started as 2 guys, in a chat, starting with mine in 2011. explore it a little bit more. So next thing we start to develop or just working and improve already open source technology. We call it eCore. This is like ecosystem. We made it available worldwide. What we are focusing on, we're trying to solve the problem that's like outside the wall. Is distribution. So we started with that one. But distribution not as a content delivery, but distribution as a content like revenue splitting and cutting out the middleman in a process. So this is what we started with, why I call DECENT. Then we focus on other applications and like the small plays in a big wall for us. Those are like adoption of blockchain technology in industrial or like the real use cases as IBM Angie presented, but we're focusing more on SMEs or different kind of markets. Basically, I represent like small laboratories that I'm running here in Hong Kong, trying to play with infrastructure things. One of the achievements is that we are able to run our node on Raspberry Pi Zero completely on a solar power and on public Wi-Fi. But still, it's just not industrial use case, but this is what it can be done, and this is one of the initiatives I'd like to make it more autonomous as an infrastructure. Then, the same things like every blockchain have. We support regular tools. We don't use proof of work, but DPoS as a delegated proof of stake. So it relies on voting tools. Another topic that I'm trying to research is how to do the elections or control the elections. Just running to just things what everybody knows. And just small comparison here today. So for example, Bitcoin, okay, so basically for payments, we just saw here one use case for a payment system. The problem is for another application that is kind of slow because it was designed only for payments. Then we have managed Ethereum. This one so smart contracts still consumes a lot of energy in my point of view, and the number of transactions per second is also low. Okay. Then we have Hyperledger that have very efficient consensus mechanism. It's PBFT or practical Byzantine fault tolerance or RAPT or some other pluggable consensus model. But this is not permissionless but permission-based system, which means that you always need permission to get into the system. So it's not publicly available, but it's a private blockchain or private ledger. Our point of view is that blockchain should be always public, so this is why we incorporate the delegated proof of stake. Okay, so far we just tuned the network to 5-second block, and it rates around 2,000 of transactions per second. Back to the practical adoptions. Right now we are working on projects in military and defense. I will show you later. In automotive, fintech. In fintech, mostly it's just like non-profit foundations. I will show it later as well. And media, pharmaceutical or retails. Mostly like cutting the supply chain in most of the use cases. First, I'm going to present a little bit deeper. It's looking for hope. It might be the Austrian government or a non-profit organization, and basically some sort of a voucher, electronic voucher for poor guys. But they're usually desperate and they will buy rather alcohol than food. So this is the purpose of the blockchain to forbid it. And it's traceable, so it's supply chain problem from different point of view. Part of supplies are the customers that are buying stuff in supermarkets, and prevents them to buy things that are not supported by the non-profit organization. They just gave them some credit to buy food or I don't know, the drinks to survive or necessary stuff. It was launched. It was launched with Human Venture, Collective Energy, company that looked it up. The next project is using the smart sensors for provenance. And this here are like one of the examples I'm going to present is called LimeHK. It's basically it works for Airbus company for aerospace, and there is a process when service department and manufacturer of the sensors they usually don't agree with each other. The one in one's eyes, the service department should run or maintain the sensors in one way, and the other party usually talking bad about the manufacturer. So this is a sort of mediating platform. It's 5 level of the protocol that can guarantee that no one tampering with the sensors. Also, there's some sort of mechanism behind. The last one is distribution platform for undeveloped countries. It's around similar concept to the Paxful, but we don't use crypto, we use stablecoin, and top up is either through cards, but the original idea been to use the like convenience stores, and they will just hook it up to the QR code, and they have access to the bank account, so they will wire directly to us, and everything runs automatically, so self-governance on blockchain. Basically, it's mostly for gaming industries, so like App Store in countries where there's no Google or Apple, and they still want to play. Basically, that's it.
Thank you, Marian. Please stay here. And now would like to invite Michael from LimeHK team to join for the panel discussion.
Thank you all. Hey guys and gentlemen, I know you guys have a very great speech from all the speakers. So thanks a lot. Just have a suggestion. Right now it's 8:30. So what about we have a short panel discussions and move our networking section into our bar, just like mentioned by April and Patrick. We serve a bar for everyone. Okay, we have some free drinks for you guys. We can have friends. We can talk later. So we just grab this chance to have a short panel discussion. Okay, so what do you want? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. So we in 2018, okay, we have lots of keywords. Okay, stablecoin, JP Morgan they launched JP Coins, and then payment. Lots of corporates they start realizing, especially the banks, right? JP Morgan, Mizuho, all those banks, and lots of fintech startups. As I said, an accelerator, I'm happy. Honestly, we host lots of different blockchain, cryptocurrency, and fintech events. Back to the last year or even earlier days, we can see that people are more conservative. Okay, put aside the regulations. We are not talking about regulations. We back in the basic. We talk about technology itself. Okay, so I just want to ask all of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, about payment. Okay, payment technology. Okay, remittance, that's very traditional. We know SWIFT, right? We know traditional way to handle SWIFT. It take you around 2 days or 1 day to finish a transaction. So some fintech startups, they do not use blockchain technology. Some of them, they tend to use cryptocurrency, Ripple, all the media to help them to complete payment. Is that we are going to another generation of the payment? How does blockchain and cryptocurrency they will act on this area evolutions? What do you think, Marian? You know why?
I can shout.
Yeah.
I think
really depends on the use case. Because we're a really nice use case from Paxful. I think, for example, everybody still uses a mediator, like some escrow service. I think everybody found some place over there. We have traditional payments. We might have non-traditional payments. We know STOs are coming. Tokenizing securities. So I think the adoption is getting bigger and wider. So it's definitely the future. And we know there are payment channels, even for micro payments, the second level of Bitcoin, for example. So I think definitely everybody's trying very hard to get it work.
Ray, do you have any opinion on that?
The best thing that we can do is for crypto is to make crypto as invisible as possible to the mainstream person. And the truth is, it's just too hard to do. You know how hard it is? Like imagine some like non-technical person being on an Android phone, trying to copy and paste that long, scary password from hell-looking.bitcoin address, right? And then paste it somewhere else and enter in some decimal. This is the actual sad reality of the thing. Right? So if you want crypto to take over as a payment rail, it has to be invisible. Now it can be as invisible as possible and still work because there's people like us that give it liquidity, right? They know how to use it. They're trading for it. They're incentivized by TAL, right? And because of that, it can be invisible for all the other normal folks out there, the non-tech, non-crypto geeks that just want to move their money around. That's what it comes down to.
No, I think I agree. Both of them said, already said it. But the key is I do see, where I am, in Silicon Valley, the cryptocurrency, that whole, we used to see the cryptocurrency events literally like every day. Now that's really slowing down quite a bit. So now we're looking at, stable coin. Again, it goes down to what is the use case, what's the purpose. So we're involved in that space, but again, we're focusing on, is it really solving a specific problem, and is that the right solution for it? So I mentioned we did announce a project last year, so I definitely see that as a trend.
Yes, so I'm going to ask the questions that's out of the panel doesn't know these questions. Real case, I'm not going to disclose the name. I know a good friend who is a founder of a very good blockchain startup, and now he resigned in his startup and he went into the banking system. Okay, becomes a head of sort of about fintech or blockchain, anything. So, okay, this is the question he asked me. Okay, I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen. He told me, hey, Michael forgot about blockchain and crypto. It's too difficult from a startup to get the trust from the corporates or the big clients. Okay, no matter how technical you are, at the end of the day, after POC, and you want to convince the corporates or any of your potential clients to trust you. Apparently, that startups maybe too small in terms of scale. So right now, we have a very diverse panel of members here. We have tech companies, corporate startups here. What do you guys think? Is it because we know that corporate startups, we all moving forward, actively forward. We stretch our limit, we try new things, researching in the new areas. So we want to. I assume that we are the believer in this technology. So it seems as that's true. But what do you guys think? Is there any way from the corporates and the startup? Is there any way that we can collaborate to make it better? So maybe we can start from Angie. What was your point of view? Just on behalf of some startups, okay?
No, definitely. So how many of you know that IBM works with startups? No, okay, a few. So, so we've been working with startups for many years, and we provide a lot of services. And actually, last year we actually partnered with University of Columbia University, and we actually put together accelerator, right, and specifically focus on the blockchain space to help startup, because we do see the needs for that, and we do see a lot of innovation coming from the startups. So I think we just want to make sure that everybody, this is an open environment, right? So we really support the openness and working with the different organizations, both from enterprise as well as startup, because it's not going to scale, it's not going to succeed if we can't all work together in an open environment. And so that's what we believe. And so that's why we put in the money and putting this accelerator in place.
Yeah, if you want to start a crypto startup, great. If you want a corporate business, that's the question, right? What can you do to get traction?
Yeah.
What you do to get traction is you forget about the corporate business. Forget about the enterprise, right? How does every business start off? It starts off by helping the little guys, right? Helping the small guys. It can be even a small business that just needs to pay its VAs in the Philippines, right? Or make a payment somewhere. Something just like that. Start there. Create value there. Once you do that, eventually you'll find out you can scale it up. It's just that simple. Just start off 101, basic 101, product market fit 101. Do not have your eyes set on the enterprise. Crypto is all about not asking for permission. And you're gonna give that up and wait for some fat guy in the boardroom to have pity on us. Forget that.
I will be somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. I like the system.
Yeah, trying to get rid of the middleman. I think corporates will never cooperate. I mean, without any more of you guys, so we really make enterprise solutions. The SMEs, they just not willing to pay for enterprise solutions, so they need to be handling you guys.
I mean, you need to both coexist, right? So not everything has to be corporate. I think you need to find your niche and then make sure you have tractions and actually solve your problem. And I wouldn't always look to the corporate. I would leverage the corporate and enterprise for the resources that they provide, because a lot of them provide a lot of free resources. So if you're not taking advantage of all the free resources, then something's wrong, right? But look for a real problem that you're solving, and not always think, I'm trying to sell it back to the corporation. That's really not the thing. So,
Always right to
yeah.
So here's Q&A questions. If anyone you have questions you want to share with us, feel free. And we have just one questions, and let you guys have fun, have beer to execute our POA. Yeah. So any questions from you guys? Okay. Okay. Oh, so this is the end of our panel discussion. Again, can I have a big hand from you guys to thank you all for panel? Last but not least, I will take this chance to have a great group with you guys. Would you mind all of our audience come closer in the center, so invite our panel members to shift a bit here, so we have our professional photographer.